How do you help someone with depression? Well, we should be calling my husband in here to ask him. Well, actually, I know I'm going to teach these myself because I grew up with a father that dealt with depression. All of my childhood, it actually never got treated properly throughout his adult life. I saw what my mother's experience was like. She didn't deal with it very well. It really took over her life as well. My dad's depression really was prolific in affecting a lot of people's experience because of the roles he played, both as a professional and in his family experience. So I have learned from both sides of this. How do you help someone with depression? I have 8 tips for you today. Now, you might pick up on some of these if you're the person with depression and go, okay, I need to see the other side of this, because if you're dealing with depression, and if you're considering you might be, go watch my video titled "What Does Depression Really Feel Like?" And there's some fabulous ways to kind of self-diagnose if you're dealing with it. A lot of information available here on the webosphere to have you educate yourself. One of my go-to physicians is Dr. Daniel Lehman. I feel he has the best content and support out there for brain health conditions. And depression is an imbalance of the brain. Your brain's not working correctly, and you can fix that. I have personally done that, and I want to help you do that as well. It has a lot of emotional components and lifestyle components to it, but they're all affecting your brain's inability to get well, because there's a lot of things you can do on many levels to free your brain up to help it establish great health. So these symptoms that you can deal with, let's say you're the person that's now in a relationship with someone that's dealing with depression. That could be spouse, it could be a child, it could be a close friend. It could be the more extended relationship. You honestly could be in a situation at work where you're dealing with someone that's not managing it, and you're dealing with the side effects of it. You don't have as much influence there with that other person. These are meant to be applied to the more intimate relationships where we have the ability to communicate more authentically and honestly, to help shift things and how to take care of yourself in that scenario. Well, there are 3 symptoms very prolific for the person that's in a relationship with someone dealing with depression. The first one is you can often feel powerless. You never know. It's kind of like, what state of, what mood will they be in today? Are they going to get out of bed? How functional will they be today? What will be their demeanor? Anger can be a part of some people's depression. It's an extrovert quality of depression, or some people go within and they get very reclusive and they don't want to even show up. They want to just stay in their bed, go hide in their closet, separate, want to just go away, shut it all down. And that feeling of powerlessness, not knowing what is going to show up today. The inconsistency in the person that you're involved with, their particular symptoms, what's presenting today when it's not being treated and healing. The second one is then anger. You get really tired of this, and you get angry. You get like, I'm so sick of this, and you may lash out on the other person, but that is them inviting self-sabotage, because there's a lot of false beliefs that someone with depression runs in their mind, like, I'm not good enough, I'm so worthless, I wish I wasn't even alive. And when someone they care about is now projecting anger onto them, it just really aggravates those beliefs. I know I'm terrible, I'm horrible, I wish I were dead, blah, blah, blah. So, that's not effective either, but this energy's pent up, this emotional energy, and you can lash out in anger. Or you can displace your anger because you're not being honest about it, that you're really angry about this situation with this person and what you're dealing with. And it can be displaced on children. It can be displaced in work settings. It's like it gets the best of you because you're not honestly dealing with your life experience that you have. And the third one is you could be dealing with some physical symptoms as well, causing you stress. I have a great video on stress and what's the difference between stress and anxiety. Stress is caused by outside influences, and this is causing stress in your life with this person's experience of depression. And so you can get issues, with all the things you act out when you're under stress and the side effects of that with sleep, diet, all the things that stress provokes. So, what do? Here are the 8 go-tos. I'm Carol Tuttle, by the way. I'm the best-selling author of 8 books. I'm an expert on healing. Healing is different than curing something. Healing is a self-influenced choice that you've chosen to draw upon your God-given abilities of your mind, your body, your spirit to provoke healing and to invite the grace of God to assist you in that healing, that we are these prolific healing machines when the choices we make allow that and invite that to play out. When we remove the interferences, healing occurs. And I'm an expert on that. So that's who I am. Subscribe if you're wanting to get my videos consistently. They're going to help you change your life. I hear it over and over and over from people. Just watching these will change your life. If you get into my more in-depth work at the Carol Tuttle Healing Center, you'll just be on a faster track to change your life. And it's worth the small investment you have to make. Okay, the first one is don't try and fix them. Like I've got to, and a lot of your motive will be, I got to fix them so I don't have the stress. You want what's right for them, but consider the possibility that it's really for yourself. I've got to fix this person, so I'm not dealing with the side effects of this. That was my mother's number one subconscious motive. She wanted to relieve the stress my father's depression brought into her life, so she was always feeling, her way to fix it was, don't do anything that will provoke the angry, depressed side of my father. Like, let's watch everything we do, Don't do anything that's going to tip the cart here and it's going to go. And now we're dealing with anger and depression. And that looked different as my father aged. He got into the poor me, the crying, the weeping, I wish I were dead, that kind of thing. I'm going to kill myself. These are not things you want to hear from your father, but my father's brain was not working well. Once we figured that out, we got mature enough and we said, we can't fix. I remember it was in my mid-40s. I realized I had played a role of enabling my father and was trying to fix him so I wouldn't have to deal with it as one of his children. And I realized it's pointless. He'll show forth good effort for a little bit of time, but ultimately he'll go back to what he's used to. So I stopped trying to fix him. I just gave it, I'm like, it's not my job. Not my job to fix him. It's not your job. Let that go. Because what will happen, it's a transfer of energy when you take on the role of fixing someone's issue. You're more the point of connection to shift that energy than they are. They're not having to be accountable to their own creation, the energy they're creating, because you're in the lead. As you let go of that and give them back their baggage, I have a great session in the Healing Center on giving people back their baggage. And that baggage could be depression. Give it back to you. They're now having to be accountable for it. It's in their space. It's their creation. Okay? So don't try and fix them. Number 2, there is a value in listening with empathy. Now, you don't want to listen to the same old rants, and you want to listen when someone's in a more mindful state and just is talking about their experience and you care. Empathy is just relaying back to them what you're hearing. So as I understand, this is really challenging for you. So your depression is something that's really getting the best of you. Well, I'm really glad you're talking about this. Thank you for sharing this. Tell me more. Invite that. That says you're important, you're worth it, and I care about you. Now, that doesn't mean you have to fix it. That just means I'm here to support you healing your depression. Listening with empathy. Number 3, support them in being accountable and getting help. And that having the ability to listen with empathy, you can say, well, what do you feel is correct for you to do about this? What are you considering doing to support yourself in healing this? Do you feel like you need to see somebody? Would it support you to, would you like me to ask you some questions that you can be, oftentimes when people present questions to us, we can have a more discerning response to say, yeah, that feels right. No, that doesn't feel right. So rather than just, again, taking that fixing role, say, well, how can I support you in healing your depression? Always put it in their experience that it's their soul chose this path, you know? And it's a way to escape life and not take responsibility. Just pray that that person will get so tired of dealing with this that they'll want to show up and change it. That's the bonus tip. I didn't even have that here in my list. Pray that they will feel so tired of it. Like, please bless so-and-so that they will feel so tired and want things to change that they'll feel extremely motivated to heal their depression. That's bonus tip. All right. Number 4 kind of goes along with the same ones. Stop enabling. Are you saying things like, well, you probably shouldn't eat that because you know sugar's going to like take them on a, take them out. You really should go to bed right now. Isn't it time for you to go to bed? Have you taken your medication today? It's like you're aware of these tipping points, where, they make a choice. This choice is going to now shift to this. So you've got to enable them to make the choice that keeps them more stable so you don't have to deal with it. Remove yourself, okay? This is the 5th one, boundaries. Set boundaries. And this is where there's sort of a tough love approach to say, I love you, I care about you. And if you're dealing with someone that refuses to get help, to learn, to educate themselves, to change their diet, to start working out, to all the things you can do that helps improve your brain, then you've got to set boundaries and just say, I love you, I care about you, but I can see you're not motivated to get well, to help your brain get healthy. And I'm going to choose to remove myself when you're in these depressed states. I just choose to not be around it anymore. I have to take care of myself, and I want to support you. Because otherwise you're going to do the enabling and you're going to deal with feeling powerless and anger. You share from a place of love. I'm here for you. I care about you. And you repeat this pattern over and over and over, and you're doing nothing about it. You have a choice. And I have a choice. So you want to be clear. How do you feel about that? Ask them. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts about that? My creating this boundary. Listen to them. What do you want? Do you want to feel better? Do you like these patterns? Find out. Get honest. All right, number 6, invest in the Carol Tuttle. Give them the gift of a Carol Tuttle Healing Center membership, or do it for yourself. There are some things you can do for someone with depression through the role of a proxy. Now, that can't heal it, but it can open the energy for them to move forward so they can make different choices, because we get really stuck in these energy states that really lock us in, and you can, through proxy work, actually open the space for them to create some movement, which looks like, I want to change this. I want to heal. So get yourself or this other person, if they're saying, yeah, I really want to do something about it, I don't know what to do. I help you heal the various levels that create depression, which free the brain up to get well. And there's other things you do on a practical level with lifestyle choices that help improve it. I help you heal all this baggage you carry around emotionally and psychologically and at the subconscious level that's causing you to keep running this depression. It's a piece of it. It's a big piece of it. Number 7, believe in them. Acknowledge and praise and give positive feedback when you see them making healthy choices in behalf of themselves and because they care about you, and just say thank them. I think that's so awesome. I'm glad you're really seeing the value you have as a person. And then the last one, don't take on their energy. It's so easy to do. And then you feel powerless and angered. I sell an oil at caroltuttle.com, the I Am Joyful oil. You need to apply this and stay in your own energy. You don't want to be depressed along with the depressed person you're dealing with. And when you enable them, it's as though you have depression along with them, because you're now managing this as though it's yours, even though it's theirs. So it's a lovely, lovely smell. I think we have rose oil in this one. It's a beautiful blend. These are all custom blended to really affect the energetic and emotional states that are preferred to be in, high vibration energies. check out the oils at caroltuttle.com. So where are you at with those 8? What can you change? Share in a comment what you're going to choose differently and how you're going to show up in the betterment of you, and that's going to ultimately support this other person. Thanks for subscribing, hitting that bell, and it is my intent that these videos will continue to support you in creating a life of affluence, ease, and joy.